What's up, fuckers, and welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K22 Next Gen. Today, continuing the 5-year rebuilds with the Denver Nuggets. Obviously do have the back-to-back MVP in Nikola Jokic. Most likely a top 3 player, maybe top 4, whatever you want to classify him as, in the entirety of the league. And of course, our goal today is to get them a championship. So this is a Nuggets squad that just went ahead and lost in the first round of the playoffs. They lost to the Warriors in 5 games. That all being said, Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray were both injured. They didn't play in that series at all. Not saying the result of the series would have changed, but those are obviously probably 2 of the 3 best players on the team. So it's a really big impact, and we're going to have them today, so I'm super excited. And finally, one more big shout out to you guys. Your support lately has been absolutely crazy, and I really do appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart, it means the world to me. We are on the road to 30K, though. I'd like to hit it by the end of the month, and it would be absolutely awesome. So if you have not yet, please do me a favor, take a minute and subscribe to the channel. It would be absolutely awesome. Of course, leave any other video ideas down below in the comment sections. It seems like you guys have been enjoying the 5-year rebuilds. If you guys can give me a comment of if you prefer the 5-year rebuilds more than the 3-year rebuilds or vice versa, just let me know down below in the comment section. It's just something I am interested in for the future of rebuilds on the channel. So with that being said, man, let's get into this Nuggets rebuild. Let's quickly go over this Denver Nuggets roster before we do start simming the first season for us here. There will not be any trades because this should be a relatively accurate representation of what this roster actually looks like. Jamal Murray, super excited to see him back and hooping again. My favorite memory of Jamal Murray is just seeing bubble Jamal Murray. Just an absolutely insane stretch of games for Jamal Murray in the bubble. I'm super excited to have him here today. Unfortunately, he really doesn't progress as much as he used to in older 2Ks. Not really sure what the reason for that is. It might have to be something about his age or his peak progression. Might check it out a little bit, but nonetheless, still a really nice young player on this team here. Nishan Bones Highland, I'm super pumped to have as my backup point guard. Ultimately, they moved Monte Morris. Ish Smith was part of that deal. He was on this roster. Unfortunately, that left us with 16 players. I had to cut it down to 15, and Ish Smith had regressed all the way to a 70 overall while we were simulating. So he was the guy that I cut short instead of any of their rookies that they just drafted this year. But we have Nishan Highland going to be our backup point guard, most likely our 6th man as well. Bruce Brown, who I thought was a really underrated signing for them this offseason, obviously coming over from the Brooklyn Nets. On a 2-year contract, the 2nd year is a player option, so hopefully we can retain him. Might be too expensive. The way I'm going to do this right now is I think Bruce Brown is a lot, not a lot, but he is better than KCP at this point. I'm going to start Bruce Brown at the 2-guard spot. KCP will be backing up MPJ at the 3. That's just the way I'm going with it. He's 26 years of age. The room for progression is still there. We're going to roll with the punches and do that. Devon Reed signed a 2-year deal with the Denver Nuggets, an extension rather, with this team in the offseason. I'm happy to have him here. I think he can definitely be beneficial for this squad. Where else has he played before? Phoenix, correct? Oh. Well, I guess they don't have any of his numbers here. Christian Braun was somebody they took with the 21st overall pick out of Kansas. Maybe could be somebody that progresses into a sometime role player, but if not, he honestly might be somebody we send down to the G League here for the first season. Again, it probably wouldn't crack the rotation. Might as well get him a little bit of development down there as well. Michael Porter Jr., who is on a large contract extension for a guy who has not played a lot. There's obviously an injury concern here with him. In this game, I don't play with injuries on. He turns into an absolute stud. I think he has the capability of doing that in real life as well. I'm excited to have him here. KCP also came over in that deal with the Washington Wizards, also signed a 2-year extension with this team. He's 29 years of age. I think the potential for him to be a really good bench piece for this squad is there. They might end up starting him. I do not know what that rotation is going to look like, but he's going to be coming off the bench for us. Not a bad player for us in the rotation. Jeff Green also still here with this squad. We're probably not going to be using him too much. They got Vlad Alcankar, who I believe also agreed to a 2-year extension with this squad. I think a 3-year extension, actually. I think 3rd year is a player option. Correct? Yeah, I updated all the contracts just to make sure I got them right. And then Peyton Watson was the 30th overall pick. Do I have another spot for the G League? I do. That's actually huge for us. I'd rather send our 2 first-round picks from the draft because these are both guys that could potentially crack the rotation for me. It's just kind of my thought process. Aaron Gordon here as well. Not necessarily my favorite player in this game just because he doesn't progress. Occasionally regresses and doesn't put up the best numbers, but I'm not expecting a 25-point double-double out of Aaron Gordon. I just think we might be able to upgrade at some point in time. It's not a shot at him. It's just kind of a fact. We have Zeke Naji here as well, who I'm really excited to have on this team. The unfortunate thing with him, he was just a free agent. I don't know if 2K auto-renounced him or something before I got, because I have one big shared file, and it simmed up to a certain point, so I don't know if that happened. I brought him back on what the rest of his contract is looking like, his rookie deal. I mean, he was drafted in 2020, so I don't know what the bird right situation will be, but he's on a contract for this year, and then he has a team option heading into his 4th and final year of that rookie deal. So hopefully we have bird rights on him. I'd like to have him here as really good a young big man, in my opinion. And then here it comes, Nikola Jokic. Got the 5-year Supermax from the Denver Nuggets. I will be giving it to him this offseason. Reason I didn't go ahead and just put it into the game, I didn't just go edit his contract, is because I can actually give him more money once the cap rises, once we get to the next offseason, which would be a little bit more accurate of representation. Like the most let me give him per season right now is like $33.33 million, which would be an absolute bargain for a guy that's, I believe, averaging $54 million per year on his new deal. I mean, it's an average. It's not exactly what he's making, but some years are less, some years are more. You all know how it works. But DeAndre Jordan, I'd like to give a big shout out to this man's agent. I do not know how DeAndre Jordan is employed. He will be in the rotation just because I feel we could use a backup center potentially. This is probably going to be a 10-man rotation rebuild for the majority of it, but DeAndre Jordan will not be here past the season. Again, his MVP, or the real MVP is his agent. Not sure how this man has a contract. Ishmael Kamagate, second-round pick from the 2022 draft. I don't know, man. Not a G League spot for him, but maybe could eventually get some backup big man minutes. But that is it for now. I'll see you guys in the rotation before we do start simming the first year. We are here at the start of season number 1. We've obviously done nothing to this team whatsoever. That being said, this is still probably one of the better teams in the Western Conference, both when fully healthy in real life and in this game right now. So I'm excited to see how this works. It's going to be Jamal Murray, Bruce Brown, MPJ, Aaron Gordon, and then Nikola Jokic. Obviously love having him. It's not every day I get him in a rebuild. Today's fortunately for enough for us, one of those days. Bench unit, Nishan. Highland going to be the 6th man, followed by Zeke Naji, KCP, Devon Reed, and then DeAndre Jordan. I still don't know how DeAndre Jordan got a contract. But nonetheless, I'm hoping to be a top 4 seed here in the West, and I'll see you guys at the end of the first year. Nikola Jokic officially makes it a 3-peat in the MVP department, carries us to a 1 seed, averages a triple-double, and wins his 3rd straight MVP. Yeah, he's pretty good at basketball. Chet Holmgren, your Rookie of the Year. Oklahoma City, Ben Simmons, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nick Claxton, and Nate McMillan, Coach of the Year. So we are the 1 seed here in the West. I will 100% take that at 61-21. Beautiful first season for us. Obviously, we've barely done anything to this team. Great building blocks for us to work with here in today's rebuild. Nikola Jokic led us in scoring. He also probably led us in points, in rebounds and assists. And it was Jamal Murray, MPJ, Highland, Aaron Gordon, Bruce Brown, Devon Reed, Zeke Naji, KCP, DeAndre Jordan down there as well. Rebounds, yeah, Jokic. Assist, yeah, Jokic. Probably something you're going to have to get used to today. We got the Sacramento Kings here in the first round. They are officially back in the playoffs. It is De'Aaron Fox, Dante DiVincenzo, Harrison Barnes, Trey Lyles, Sabonis, Davion Mitchell. I'm surprised Keegan Murray's not in that starting lineup. There's just no way that team's good enough at all to really actually give us any competition, if we're being honest with each other. Memphis, this is a team that scares me. John Morant, Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, Jackson Jr., Steven Adams, Tyus Jones. I will forever to this day be mad at my Celtics for not keeping Desmond Bane. I really will be. I wouldn't be surprised if this team beat us. I'd like to beat them, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did beat us. That being said, we win 5, and in 5 games, when we do win 4 straight. Here comes the real test, because, yeah. Zion. Always my favorite guy to play against here in these rebuilds. We are 1-1 with them right now. We go down 2-1. We go down 3-1. And all right. I'm sorry. Is that the Indiana Pacers there in the NBA Finals? Oh, there's just no way. They blow a 3. Is that a 3-1 lead? What? Oh, good God. Oh, what the I'm not even kidding. I think the Indiana Pacers are currently a bottom 3 team in the NBA. Like, I wholeheartedly do. I think the Spurs are right there with them. Who else off the top of my head? Like, I can't think of somebody specifically, but, like, the Pacers suck. How are they in the finals? Like, it's not like they have some major signing or changed, like, anything crazy. Like, it's Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Turner, and, like, what on earth is going on? We're definitely going to be winning the finals here. No shot, right? There's just no shot. What? I'm not hopping in anyways because I don't want to get the glitch here in the first season, but there's no way that this Pacers team beats us. We go on to win the finals. The fact that they won 3 games and got to the finals even is absolutely insane. 2K is back on its BS, man. Let me just say that. 100% is a fact. Nikola Jokic, Finals MVP. Congrats, man. Another triple-double. He's absolutely bonkers. And, yeah, we head to our first offseason. My goal today is going to be to 5-peat. I 4-peated twice in my last 4 videos. We're going to see if we can 5-peat today, possibly. That's obviously a really, really tough challenge. Probably one of the harder challenges I would have ever accomplished if it actually happens. But we have a long way to go before we start talking 5-peat. We've won 1 championship. Spurs, Pistons, Wizards, Hornets, and Rockets is your top 5 in the draft. Let's head up to staff signing right now. Mike Malone just won us a championship as our head coach. Pretty hard to fire your coach coming off of a championship. I'm pretty sure that's why Mike Budenholzer is employed. All right, we are going to go ahead. I could maybe move somebody like a Devon Reed or maybe Vlado Konkar and maybe combine them potentially for a draft pick. Also, I give this spiel every single video before we get into trades. I'm doing these trades based off what I think is going to work best in the game. It has nothing to do with how good a player is in real life or what I think the team should do with them in real life. Just need to put that out there because I still get comments. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, and we always get new viewers. Some people don't understand, but I just wanted to explain it to you guys. We're going to go ahead. I'd like to get a draft pick, and I'd like to include these two players with it. Maybe even KCP, 30 years old. He's probably going to start to regress. Maybe could be in a trade. We can get a new backup small forward. Let's see if we can find a deal. The Orlando Magic currently have the 6th overall pick here in the 2023 NBA draft. I would like that to be our pick here in Denver. So I'm offering 3 of these players right here. I'll give you a little bit of my thought process on all 3 of them and why I'm including them in the trade. I already kind of went over KCP, just a little bit on the older side, making a decent amount of money too for how well he performs in this game. So we're going to see if we can move on from him. Devon Reed and Vlado Konkar were just simply never going to be in my lineup. I had always planned on trading them. So that being said, the 6th overall pick would be quite the consolation prize for these 3 pieces right here. I didn't think that was going to go through. That was probably a stretch. That being said, how about 3 second-round picks? Does that interest you at all? Does that interest you at all? No, it does not. I would rather not give up one of my rookies right now. Peyton Watson, who's 19 from UCLA, or 22-year-old Christian Braun. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know anything about either of these guys because I really don't. That being said, if I'm thinking positionally, I potentially need a new backup small forward. And I don't know. I think that I prefer the 19-year-old over the 22-year-old. So, I mean, I know he was taken higher at 21 versus 30. Yeah, I really don't mind it, though. I mean, again, I think he's going to be replaceable. So, it might not be the smartest move in the world, but for the 6th overall pick, I'm going to do this deal. Welcome to the team, I guess, the number 6 overall pick. This is obviously Victor Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson, Keontae George, guys like that. We'll see who falls to us here because we potentially also could maybe go ahead and draft a new starting shooting guard. I mean, these are all options we have. All depends on how the draft goes so far. Victor goes number 1 to the Spurs. Scoot Henderson goes number 2 to the Pistons. Amari Bailey. Derek Lively the 2nd, and then Keontae George. So, Dariq Whitehead's here. Chris Livingston's here. Not necessarily any shooting guards. Auser Thompson is actually currently, I believe, projected as a top 4 pick. Nick Smith is as well. I have drafted Nick Smith before. I might take Auser Thompson. Auser? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But, you know, we are in the market for a shooting guard. He's 6'7", 19 years old. We're going to go ahead and take a little bit of the riskier pick there. I've only know that because I've seen his name in a bunch of mock drafts when I've been looking at the 2023 mock draft. So we're going to take him 76th overall, so same overall as our current starting shooting guard and Bruce Brown. Brown can move to the bench potentially. I do not mind that move whatsoever. So team player options. Highland's coming back. Zeke Nod's like, this is probably honestly what happened. Because we're already simmed in the first offseason up to free agency. So what I'm assuming happened is the game auto-renounced Zeke Nnaji. That's why he went into free agency. That does make a lot of sense. Oh, wow. Bruce Brown's actually declining that option. So he's somebody I would be interested in bringing back. Obviously, the way this team is constructed, we have 3 guys on max contracts or soon-to-be max contracts when I pay Nikola Jokic a super max. See, I prefer doing this because it adds more money and it's a little bit more realistic. I know he doesn't have a no-trade clause in real life. Or I don't believe he does anyways. I mean, fucking Bradley Beal does. I can't believe that. But I'm going to go ahead and just throw him that no trade clause. I'm not going to trade him, obviously, and maybe it'll help entice him back because he does have 10 other offers. So he's coming back here. The only other real offer was from the Houston Rockets. But yeah, I'm excited to have Nikola Jokic back. On top of that, we do have Bruce Brown, who I really don't think I should have bird rights on, but I'll give him that $7.5 million deal. Per year. DeAndre Jordan, good riddance. Jokic is back. Obviously a huge signing for us. I'll show you guys the full breakdown of that deal. Not exactly sure how accurate it is to the money that he actually has in real life, but it's a 5-year, $225 million deal. I think, what is it in real life? It's a little more than that, I believe, but that's kind of the breakdown. It's not as much as it is in real life, but that's the most the game lets me give him. So I'm very comfortable with that. We're obviously doing everything we can, and yeah, we just gave $225 million to a 2nd-round pick. So that's obviously taken out of context. Oh, they retired Melo's number, so I can't give Jokic 15 anymore. That kind of sucks. All right, so we're in a really good spot right now. I think I'm going to honestly start Auser Thompson. I think the progression on him definitely could be higher than Bruce Brown. I mean, 7 years age difference. Bruce Brown could be our potentially new 7th man off the bench. And yeah, you know what? I'm thinking about giving Peyton Watson some minutes here. You know, I just opted not to trade him. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can progress him a little bit. That being said, I would also maybe like to get a new backup center. Ismail Kamagate. Can I get a pick for you, dude? 71 overall backup center. Like, here's the thing. And you might just say, well, you just said you're going to play a 17 or a 71 overall. And you're right, I am. But I'm playing him at the backup small forward spot where he's probably going to get 14-ish minutes a game. Versus me playing somebody like Ismail Kamagate here, who would be backing up the best center in the NBA. And definitely would not be getting as many minutes. So that's my thought process a little bit on me potentially trading him right now. I just wanted to put that out there for me to explain maybe a little bit better. This is a Minnesota Timberwolves pick. They tend to be pretty good. I prefer maybe another team's pick. This is a 76ers pick. Actually, I think I've seen the 76ers eventually suck. Let's do that deal. It's a risk, but it's a risk I'm kind of willing to take right now. So, oh God. Honestly, like, I'll sign Kelly Olynyk. He only wants a minimum contract. Yeah, you know what? I'll give Kelly Olynyk a contract. Then we can maybe go ahead and replace him next offseason. But, yeah, it's probably going to be more like 10 minutes here for Peyton Watson. So, kind of just went over that whole spiel for nothing. I'm just kind of looking at the backups we have, and they're a little bit better than I thought they were. But we're in a good spot. I'll see you guys at the start of the second season. Fresh off a championship, we've made one change to the starting five. We had the 6th overall pick and took Alzer Thompson. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. You all know I'm very, very bad with names. So Alzer Thompson's what I'm going to refer to him as. He's pairing up with Jamal Murray in our backcourt. Michael Porter Jr. is progressing quite nicely. He's up to an 87 overall. That's also what I'm talking about with Murray. He just really doesn't progress, and it's kind of weird. I'm not necessarily going to play around with everything right now. Like, I could maybe go and change, like, his max peak age or whatever the stat is, or I forget what the term is. But whatever I have to change, I'm not going to play around with it right now. He's still very good, and he's very, very capable of being a starting point guard on a championship team, as he's proved. So I'm not going to play around with it right now, maybe in a future rebuild. Aaron Gordon, probably your final year here. I'm not going to lie to you. It's just a little bit too much money for your overall and how well you perform, if I'm being honest with you. So I like Aaron Gordon. I don't love him in this game. And then Nikola Jokic, we gave a whole boatload of money to. We gave him a $250 million, and yeah, he's going to be our center for the remainder of the video. Ben Unit and Sean Highland will remain our 6th man, has a team option next year as well. That's huge. Followed by Zeke Naji, Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, and then Peyton Watson. Yeah, I know I said I was going to play him more than 10 minutes, but it's a thought that counts. It really is. Funny enough, we somehow have Vlado Konkar back here. I'm not necessarily sure how the man got back here. What I'm assuming happened is we traded him, and then he might have gotten cut from the Magic roster. And then he was just an not auto-generated, but like an automatic signing that 2K made for me to fill out the roster. So welcome back, Vlado. Thanks for, I don't know, being a trade piece for me. But yeah, we're trying to go back-to-back on our road to a 5-peat. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 2. Unfortunately, it could not be 4 straight MVPs for Nikola Jokic. It would have been really cool, but Luka finally gets his. And yeah, 2nd straight year of a guy averaging a triple-double, winning MVP. We are, once again, the 1 seed here in the West. Honestly, you love to see it. You really do. Scoot Henderson, Rookie of the Year, went number 2 overall to the Detroit Pistons. Him and Cade are probably a very scary backcourt. Simmons, 6th Man of the Year. Giannis wins another Defensive Player of the Year. That seems to be a constant throughout these 5-year rebuilds. Holmgren, Most Improved. Mike Malone, Coach of the Year. We go 53-29. You know, it's not as good as last year's record, but honestly, I can live with that. What we had, 60 wins last year, I believe, but I can live with it. We're still the 1 seed and second best record in the NBA, or technically 3rd because there's 2 teams tied for 1st, but you know what I'm saying. Jokic, 1 assist per game off of a triple-double. Again, would have been really cool. MPJ. Jamal Murray, Sean Highland, Alzer Thompson, Aaron Gordon, Kelly Olynyk, Bruce Brown, Zeke Naji, Peyton Watson. All right, up to a 72 overall. Might not be here next year, but yeah, we'll see. Let's sim the plan. We got the Houston Rockets here. KPJ, Jalen Green, Amani Bates, Jabari Smith Jr., Vucevic is a new addition, Şengün, Josh Christopher. Still got John Wall there because it's not updated. Again, anybody's got a shared file on PS5, I would greatly appreciate it if you would share it with me down below in the comment section. We are on the verge of being eliminated in the first round to an 8 seed. All right, we're battling back here. And we lose. So the 5-peat's not happening. That's quite unfortunate. I really wanted a good title to this video. But the Atlanta Hawks, I believe the Kings blew a 3-1 lead. Trae Young and the Hawks go on to win the NBA Finals with probably top 2 or 3 backcourt in the entirety of the NBA with him and DeJounte Murray. So let's hit the draft lottery. I do not believe I traded for any picks in this year's draft. I might be next year's. How are the Heat bad? That's crazy. Knicks, Thunder, Bulls, Heat, and then the Spurs. That's weird. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero. Like, how are you bad? That's just weird. I'm going to bring back Mike Malone. I think he's done a good job for us. There's really no reason to move on from him, and I guess it does kind of get boring getting style for over and over. So Mike Malone I will bring back. If we end up sucking or not making it like to the final, it'll be a judgment call. But if we don't have a next 2 good playoff runs, then maybe I'll move on from Mike Malone. Let's see. We have the 27th overall pick. I'll draft somebody. Again, I don't really pull up mock drafts. I don't know this draft class at all. I don't really pull up mock drafts this late into the draft. If I had like the top 10 pick, I'd probably pull up a mock draft for the 2024 draft just to see if I can get a player that I kind of recognize. But, like, there's just no way this is even a real person right here. Daryl Ryder is not a real person. I'd probably bet money on it. Just a guess, though. All right, so positionally, I don't really think we need a ton, honestly. I mean, we're good at the backup point guard spot. We're good at the backup shooting guard spot. The small forward spot's a little iffy. The backup power forward spot, we got Najee, and then, or backup center. So it's kind of between Ryan Francis here and Wesley Bledsoe. 7 feet tall out of Fresno State, 21 years old. 21 years old out of Ohio State, 6'7". I'm going to go with Ryan Francis, and my thought process on this one is because my backup center is really not as important. I mean, hypothetically, we have Nikola Jokic starting. Hypothetically, we do have Nikola Jokic starting, so we don't need an insanely good backup center. Not saying that this Ryan Francis, who's a 73 overall, is going to be an absolute game changer for us, but could be a little bit more needed than a better backup center. Highland and Peyton Watson will both come back. Watson and what the hell's his name? Ryan Francis are going to be battling it out here for the backup 3 spot. Konkar and Mioni, no thank you, but Zeke Najee is definitely somebody I'd like to bring back on a contract. So this is kind of one of those rebuilds that I'm really not going to be able to do a ton, and it's kind of unfortunate because just the way the rebuild's kind of playing out today. I mean, we have 3 guys on max contracts, and it kind of sucks because I can't make a ton of trades or anything, but I also really benefit from it. I mean, hell, we've done the 1 seed the past 2 years, and yeah, we got this dude. So that being said, I am looking to upgrade my starting power forward spot. I know I mentioned that before we did start simming last year. Let's see if we can maybe find that upgrade. To be completely fair with you, Kyle Kuzma will be the 4th power forward that I tried to trade for. None of the other 3 were happening. And yeah, Kuzma, in my opinion, would still be an upgrade. He's also, what, a year younger? No, they're the same. Wow, they have the same age? 3 years of difference in draft, though. That's crazy how that works. He also has an extra year on his deal, though. So I'll do that. I do believe that Kyle Kuzma is currently better than Aaron Gordon. I'm going to stand by that take. I'm going to go trade Peyton Watson. I'm not going to pretend to know anything about him, but I'm going to go with the guy I drafted here in Ryan Francis. So how about that, Wizards? And 1 first-round pick, and they agree to that. Holy hell, it was a long stretch of me trying to trade for power forwards, but we finally got, Kyle Kuzma. We traded Aaron Gordon. So we're all set there. The rest of the starting 5 is basically figured out. We're going to wait on Zeke Najee, and then I will right now sign a backup center. Somebody like a Cody Zeller. I'll actually take Birch. I don't mind Birch. So Birch's coming back. Why does the game auto-renounce Zeke Najee? It's so weird how it does that. I hate it. Like, look, it's ridiculous. It's like a weird thing this game does. But I do not have bird rights on him, and he is restricted, so I'm going to have to sit here through free agency and make sure he doesn't accept another offer. I will see you guys at the start of year number 3. We traded for a new starting power forward in Kyle Kuzma. This team's hopefully going to be back where it was in the first season, rather than the year that we just had, which was not a very good playoff run. Jamal Murray, Hauser Thompson, Michael Porter Jr., Kyle Kuzma, and Nikola Jokic. The game still doesn't even want Thompson to start after he had a really solid rookie campaign, especially for the situation he was in on a championship team. I mean, he just kind of got thrown into the mix and played well, but the game doesn't want him to start. He's still going to. Nishan Highland will be our 6th man here, followed by Zeke Najee, Bruce Brown, Birch, and then Ryan Francis. You might be asking, why are you playing the higher overall, less minutes? And again, strictly based on the situation he is. We have a 96 overall, 3-time MVP as our starting center, and Bruce Brown's behind a guy who just had his rookie season. So that kind of explains that a little bit more. I will see you guys at the end of the 3rd season. I just realized my dumbass forgot to hit record at the end of the season. It's like the 2nd time I've done this in a week, and yeah, I'm sorry. But I'll quickly go over everything once again. We just won our first-round playoff matchup against the Memphis Grizzlies. We were a 4 seed. We had 37 wins. I'll show you the standings. Once again, my bad on that. I'll try to make sure it never happens again. It rarely does, but my bad. I screwed that up. Numbers on the year. You can take a look at them real quickly. You can pause it. I'm not going to fly over and inspect everything, but feel free to pause at any point you'd like. We just won a first-round playoff matchup against the Memphis Grizzlies. We had 47 wins, which I thought was low for the talent on this team. But nonetheless, we are moving on. We got the 1-seeded OKC Thunder here, who are definitely young and inexperienced, but obviously really good core right there, if I do say so myself. So we're down 2-0 to them. We're down 2-1 now, 3-1. 3-2, 3-3, and we lose in 7. That sucks. We went from starting this video with goals of winning 5 straight championships to now winning 1 in our first season, and we've gotten worse, on paper at least, in every single season, record-wise. I wouldn't say that the team has gotten worse necessarily, but yeah, I guess something's got to change. Maybe Kuzma for Aaron Gordon wasn't the right trade. Maybe it was not. We'll skip over the draft lottery. How are the Heat so bad? I don't get that. Like, the Suns, maybe because they lost Chris Paul, but I mean, you still have Booker and Ayton. I mean, the Lakers, I'm assuming LeBron probably retired, but like, What's going on? Do I move on from Mike Malone? I think I am. I think I'm going to move on from Mike Malone. I think I'm going to get Stauffer. I think... fuck you, Mike. No. You know what? Everybody always declines when I try to sign assistant coaches as head coaches. Why don't I do that for another team? I don't know who I want. I really don't. Like Chris Finch, ratings are... Yeah. I don't think Mike Malone's a bad coach. I'm just saying in the game right now, it's really not working out. We're going to sign Edward Freeman. I don't know who you are, but we'll sign you. I don't know. Looks like there's some decent ratings there. It looks relatively young, so I'll take him. Welcome to Denver. All right, we do have the 19th overall pick. I'm going to go ahead and probably draft somebody. Could be a trade piece, no matter who we really take. And if not, maybe could hop into the rotation, whatever the position may be. Roy McDaniels could replace Birch. Why don't we just take him from Kentucky? Welcome to the squad. 7 feet tall. Never a bad option there. He's going to actually be a 75 overall. Probably will replace Birch. Alzer Thompson will definitely be coming back. I want him to continue to start for me. Sean Highland's our one big free agent, I believe. Is Kyle Kuzma free agent? No, but Jamal Murray is. That's also a big free agent. That is somebody I need to bring back. Yeah. And I also want to bring back Zeke Naji here, who wants... kind of a lot of money. I'm not just going to let Nishan Highland go. If I'm being honest with you, I might throw him in a trade at some point. And again, he's been playing really, really well for us, especially with the minutes and the role he's been given. But I think we could use an upgrade either potentially at our shooting guard spot or maybe our power forward spot. And again, not a shot at Kuzma. It's just how the team is built that he's not playing as well as he did in DC. And Alzer Thompson, I don't know. I'll give him one more season at a minimum, but we'll address that once we do get there. So we get Murray and Najee back. We're going to wait on Highland. Other than that, I think we're pretty much in the same spot that we were last year. Hopefully guys can continue to progress and can continue to play well for us. But we're going to give a contract here to Nishan Highland. Wants around $20 million a year. It's a lot of money, but he's been playing well. And honestly, if we didn't give it to him, another team probably would have. So welcome back, Nishan Highland. Going to be our sixth man still. And yeah, I think we're at the point in time where I'm going to honestly trade Birch. I know he's 79 overall and definitely could be impactful for us. But if I'm being honest, I just drafted Roy McDaniels, who definitely is a couple overalls lower, but I can hopefully get a first-round pick here for Birch and maybe one that has some sort of value. So let's take a look. Let's take a look, fellas, and see what we got. Oh, boy. These are not the best options. The Lakers just sucked. Let me take their pick. Fine by me. I'll see you guys at the start of, year 4. Here's how it's going to look for the start of the 4th year for us in Denver. Unfortunately, our record has gotten worse every single season of this video. I'm not really sure why that's happening. I'm still super confident in this team. Jamal Murray, Alzer Thompson is going to remain in the backcourt. I need big years out of Thompson and or Kuzma, because if not, and we have a really shitty playoff run, we're going to go ahead and definitely trade one of these two guys. Other than that, also, it sucks. Jamal Murray just doesn't progress, and I don't know, man. Just something weird about him in this game. Michael Porter Jr. is still probably the second best player on this team in the game at this point in time. I'm excited to have him here. We have Kyle Kuzma still, and then obviously Mr. Nikola Jokic. Bench unit, Deshaun Highland, Zeke Naji, Bruce Brown. We got two really young guys here in Roy McDaniels and Ryan. Actually, I'm going to switch these two. And Ryan Francis. So let's see what happens. I'll see you guys at the end of the 4th year. Second straight MVP award for LaMelo Ball. He's, balling out. I forgot to mention because I forgot to hit record because I'm a dumbass. Last season, he won his first career MVP, so here's his second. We are back closer to the top of the West with the 2 seed here. Also 3 in the power rankings. Sharif Cooper, Rookie of the Year. Wait, what? What? Mikey Williams, 6th Man of the Year. Jonathan Isaac, Defensive Player of the Year. Old friend Jason. I'm sure you're a good guy, Jason. I have no idea who you are. You're definitely a real person. But there's just no way I can pronounce that last name. Willie Green, Coach of the Year. Oh boy, Pelicans. All right, let's take a look at the standings. We go 53-29, so at least we're back above 50 wins after 47 last year, which was, a little discouraging if we're being honest. Got a new head coach as well, though. Jokic is still insane. MPJ, Jamal Murray, Alzer Thompson, Deshaun Highland, Kyle Kuzma, McDaniel, Zeke Naji, Brown, Francis, Juan Toscano Anderson down there. Probably just, Jokic for both those. So let's in the plan. See who we got here in round number 1. Going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves. Sharif Cooper, who just won Rookie of the Year. Not sure how he's a rookie. Wendell Moore, Anthony Edwards, Mauricio Navarro, Rudy Gobert. They always somehow lose Cat. And again, that extension's obviously not updated because this is not an updated shared file. But yeah, interesting. We win in 5. Beautiful. Moving on to Portland here. Dame, who is now, 35 years old. He's taking a little bit of a step back, definitely, but he's still Damian Lillard. Josh Christopher. Oh, that's, that would, And the Bucks are still, honestly, I mean, they lost in the first round, but I give the Bucks a ton of credit. Interesting. Did Middleton sign for like $2 million again? That happened in a couple. No, he has a real contract. Honestly, how do you afford all these guys? I mean, like, oh, marketing's getting $1 million a year. I don't know how that happens. All right, we beat Giannis and the Portland Trailblazers in game 1. That is a phrase I hope never comes out of my mouth again. It just sounds so weird. Giannis and the Blazers. Actually kind of sounds good. All right, here we go. Great. Fucking great. It's exactly what you need to give to Zion Williamson, the biggest hype beast this game's ever seen. Yeah, you needed Donovan Mitchell. And, oh, yeah, let's just give him LeBron James Jr. Let's just give him Ronnie James. Why not? Because why wouldn't you? Also, Sadiq Bey and President Chua. I mean, what happened to this team? God, they are doing a good job there in New Orleans. I wouldn't be surprised if we got swept. I really wouldn't. I still think we have the best player in the series, but good God, man. Good God. I mean, what do I do with that? What do I do with that? Somehow the Pistons beat them, but my Lord, we peaked really high to open this video, and it is basically, I don't want to say downhill because we just made it to the West Finals, and that Lakers pick was top 3 protected and is currently projected number 5. And, of course, it's the fucking second overall pick. The one time I do not want to go any higher, it somehow goes higher. Because obviously, because why wouldn't it? It's kind of how my life works. All right. We are, I'm fine with Edward Freeman. The offensive, defensive ratings are fine. I don't necessarily know how much any of the other ratings I mean, the basketball IQ rating is probably important. I don't really know how much of the other ratings really impacted. So we do not have that Lakers pick. That being said, we have their unprotected pick now next year, which is obviously really cool. I'm going to trade this 27th overall pick. Beautiful, Cleveland. Thank you. And now it's time to make a trade. I got to make a tough decision. Why would I not bring him back? He's been our second best player. Like, that's just the flawed logic in this game. It really is. Maybe I get 39 million is a lot of money, but I mean, the cap's definitely gone up every single year. Like, you would just think that the game would, hey, dumbass, bring the dude back. All right, we're going to bring back Kyle Kuzma. He's definitely a possibility of getting traded. I'm also going to replace Bruce Brown. I'd like to maybe put somebody else into the role. So yeah, Kuzma's going to come back. Either him or Alzer Thompson's going to get traded. It all depends on what both trade packages look like for both these guys. Obviously, that Lakers pick will be included as well. So yeah, let's look for some potential trades. We made a big trade. We made a very, very big trade. We added Donovan Mitchell to this team. He's going to be our new starting shooting guard. We traded. Actually, I'll just show you the trade. Funny enough, I don't know where I'm going to enter the clip, but I almost just threw in Jokic in the trade, which would have been absolutely crazy. Yeah, it's a huge trade. We gave up a ton. If it wasn't the final year, this is never a deal I would make, but ultimately, it's a huge upgrade at the shooting guard spot. Alzer Thompson just really never progressed. Like, I found that super weird, but it sucks giving up Highland. He was probably close to a top 4 player for us on this squad. He was our 6th man. We gave up a shit ton of picks too, but Donovan Mitchell, unfortunately, he's a huge upgrade on this team. He's probably the 2nd best player on this squad now. So I'm super excited to have D-Mitch here in Denver, the team that I believe originally drafted him, funny enough. So welcome back, I guess. I mean, you never actually played, but I'm cool with it. All right, we are going to find ourselves a new backup point guard, which kind of sucks, and we're going to find ourselves a new backup shooting guard. Honestly, I wouldn't mind Chris Dunn. That's some defense in here as well. It's actually a pretty good addition to this squad. And then the backup shooting guard spot. Actually, you know what? I guess I will bring back Bruce Brown. Fine by me. It's how these things are going to work out. And yeah, I have no idea who our 6th man is going to be. It's honestly probably going to be Najee. I don't like having big men as 6th men, but if we're being honest, the power forward spot's probably the weakest spot on the 4. So it works out that way. I'll see you guys at the start of the 5th and final year. Year 5 for us here in Denver. The starting 5 is as follows. Jamal Murray, Donovan Mitchell, obviously our huge trade of the offseason. He's a huge upgrade over Thompson. I'm really confused why Thompson didn't really end up progressing. I mean, his numbers stayed relatively similar. His overall really stayed relatively similar. Kind of weird. Michael Porter Jr., Kyle Kuzma, and then Nikola Jokic. Bench unit. Zeke Najee going to be our 6th man here, followed by Chris Dunn, Roy McDaniels, Bruce Brown, and then Ryan Francis. It's an interesting bench. It's definitely not the best bench I've ever had, but it's doable. This is a really fun starting 5. Hopefully, we're going to win our 2nd championship with this video. I can't believe at one point we thought we were going to 5-peat. I got a little ahead of myself. I'll see you guys at the end of the 5th and final year. It definitely feels good to be back at top of the Western Conference. We haven't been here since the first season, but it feels good. Luka wins his 2nd MVP, I believe, of this video. Koa Pete is your Rookie of the Year. I'm not sure who he is. Again, he's probably 15 years old in real life, but congrats. Poku, 6th man of the year, found a new home in Cleveland. Jonathan Isaac, 2nd straight depoy, I believe. Brendan Bailey, most improved. Edward Freeman. Holy shit, we won 68 games. I guess Donovan Mitchell made a serious impact on this squad. 68 wins, OKC 165, so we're going to have an arms race here in the Western Conference. Mitchell actually led us in scoring, then it was Nikola Jokic. It's funny, I'm pretty sure his scoring's down every single season. Close to it. Actually, really doesn't. But MPJ, Jamal Murray, Roy McDaniels, Kyle Kuzma, Najee, Bruce Brown, Francis, Chris Dunn. Rebounds is Jokic, and assists was also Jokic. So, it is time for the first round. We got the Portland Trailblazers, who we somehow beat last year. Dame continues to regress, but any team with Giannis on it is always going to scare me. It really is. So, we are up 3-0 right now, and we are up 3-1 now. They get a game in there, and we win in 5. Absolutely beautiful. Houston here in round number 2. Oh, God. How did you get Paolo? I mean, you what? The number 1 overall pick from 22 and number 3? How does that even happen? Like, what? Did Orlando just not match the deal that they gave him? Like, how does that even happen? We somehow win in 5, and we got OKC here in the West Finals. They are, yeah, they're good. They scare me. They look honestly a little bit worse than last year, but still scary nonetheless. We're up 3-0 right now, and we sweep them. Okay. And I believe Indiana, who we actually beat in the finals, which was the craziest thing I've ever seen in year number 1. They blow a 3-1 lead, and here comes Detroit, who I believe won it last year. Henderson, Cade, Oubre, Sadiq Bey, Charlie Berry Carroll, who I've seen a lot. I don't even know who he is. I don't know if he's a real person, but it's a hilarious name. Emmanuel Quickly, Josh Green, Hamidou Diallo. They definitely have us beat on the bench. I would definitely say our starting 5 is better. So let's see if we can get it done here in the finals. We are up 3-0, of course. I like to get a little bit of gameplay. As always, kind of talk about the squad in real life versus kind of expectations versus reality, if you will, for me a little bit. But let's get a little bit of gameplay here in Detroit. Alrighty, friends, we are here in Detroit. We are up by a whole lot of points. I'm not doing the math on that right now. But yeah, we're going to be hopefully winning our 2nd championship of this video. A video that started out with so much potential and just dwindled off. But I guess we needed more stars, and I think Donovan Mitchell obviously kind of qualifies as one of those stars. But I'm excited to obviously have him here. And he's a huge reason why we are winning a 2nd championship. So that being said, I did not really think that team in year number 1 had what it took to win a championship. That also kind of factored into why I didn't make major trades or anything. I mean, like, I kept Highland. Oh, wow. Like, for as long as I possibly could. And, like, again, I'm not saying I wanted to trade the man, but if I'm going to have to choose with bench player over starter, I'm always going to go with starter. But I'm fine with it. Alger Thompson did not progress as much as I thought he was. Kind of sucked, but it worked out in the end. I still had fun with this rebuild. But we'll talk about the Denver Nuggets right now in real life. Obviously not in the game. I mean in real life now at this point. I know I always have to specify. But in real life, obviously they had a tough first-round matchup. They lost in 5 games to the eventual NBA champion Golden State Warriors. I feel like the Nuggets are one of those teams that, like, I hope really doesn't get caught up like some other teams in NBA history and, like, just never kind of gets even remotely like, I don't want to say not close, because they were in, what, the West Finals in the bubble in 2020? Like, some people might qualify that as a little bit of a different kind of vibe and say that maybe doesn't count. I personally think that the bubble counts. I mean, every team, there was no fans. I agree with that, but, like, every team still was there and still had to play in the same atmosphere. So that's, like, the only main difference I kind of see with it. But back to this year, you know, they haven't had Jamal Murray. They haven't had Michael Porter Jr. And without a doubt, those are probably number 2 and number 3 of the best players on this team. So that being said, I'm excited to see what happens if both of these guys are healthy. Of course, that is a big if, especially MPJ has injury concerns, and he also has a fat contract. So I think a lot of people in Detroit, or not Detroit, a lot of people in Denver are hoping this one works out. But if everything goes to plan, that's obviously a huge if. This could be a team that I think could be in the West Finals if everything really kind of works well. So I'm excited to watch Denver this year. I do not think, unfortunately, that Jokic will win a 3rd MVP, at least this season. I think voters fatigue will kind of set in. I mean, you kind of saw that with maybe, that's a horrible, I suck at shot release in this game. You kind of saw that with Rudy Gobert, and the Defensive Player of the Year probably deserved it, but they gave it to Marcus Smart, and I love that they did that just because I'm a huge Marcus Smart fan, obviously. But I'm getting off topic now. Probably Jokic, another Finals MVP. Let's do it. Unfortunately, we did not get to see who won the Finals MVP. It's 99% Nikola Jokic, but we got the little fun glitch. Thank God I didn't hop into the first year, because then the rebuild would have been over at that point in time. But yeah, we had a hot start to this one, kind of panned off a little bit, and then shot back up towards the end. Still got 2 championships. Nuggets fans, I hope you're happy with me. Let me know down below in the comment section. If you made it to this point of the video, I will let you know that coming next is going to be a Cavs 5-year rebuild. I've seen a bunch of requests for it, and I do see your comments. I promise you it is going to be the next video. So, as always, feel free to comment any other video ideas down below. I would greatly appreciate it. I always appreciate support and feedback and advice and whatever you got for me. If you guys have not yet, I would also appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel. The road to 30K is one that I really want to get to so bad. We've been plateaued for a very long time, and I'm hopefully finally happy to kind of get over that edge and kind of get there. That would be awesome. I'd greatly appreciate it. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one.